Welcome back to Sebring International Raceway, the final event of 7 in total here at the Cooper Tires Grand Prix of Sebring. It's about 89 degrees trackside, and as you can see, the wind continuing. We talked yesterday to Francisco Pizzi. He was up here in the booth with us talking about the way the wind was kind of affecting your transition through turn 17, 1, depending on the angle of that wind. And again, it's still pretty breezy here today, very humid temperatures, as I said, working their way up 89 degrees. Potential high later on this afternoon of 92. So it's a warm one. It's decently humid as expected here in Florida. But once again, getting set to roll. We have drivers ready to go. 19 in total set to roll off the grid as we get set to cap things off here at the back end of the doubleheader for USF2000. We've had a half a dozen drivers joining me up here in the guest chair in the broadcast center here at Sebring, third floor of the tower. And we're going to go to one more here today, joining us from USF Juniors and D-Force Racing out of Austin, Texas, the 15-year-old driver, Brady Golan. Brady, your first opportunity to run an official race weekend here in USF Juniors. How did it go?
It went well. Started the weekend off, got a lot quicker since the preseason training. Really happy, really excited for the season, and running with a great team. I think it'll go well.
All about learning this year, right, for you? I know that's probably a 2-year program. You've just come in. You have a little bit of karting experience, did a little bit of Skip Barber, some F4. You've been doing some GT4 driving as well, out of track days. But really your first opportunity to jump into a full championship. It's all about experience, like you and I were talking about before.
Correct. I've never been in a series where we go weekend to weekend, or obviously have some off weekends, but never raced in a full season, so I'm really excited for this year and really excited for the junior season.
Awesome. We'll have come to Brady throughout the broadcast here with some thoughts. Of course, he was on track for 3 races on Thursday and Friday, and kudos again to the USF Juniors drivers as they were able to get through all 3 of their races, green to checker, no caution flags at all. Same can't be said for the drivers in USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. They did have some issues, but our juniors were the stars of the weekend on Thursday and Friday. Let's have a look at the grid as they pull off onto the track through turn number 1. One big lap around this 3.74-mile, 17-turn road course, and we'll let them loose when they come on to the front straightaway. Maxwell Jamison in the D-Force Racing number 12, going to start in scratch position in 19th. He'll look to work his way forward. Road number 9 on the outside, the 93 of Avery Towns, another one of the Texans in the field, the number 93 for Exclusive Autosport starting 18th. Inside that row, starting in 17th spot, Al Morey out of Indiana for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 7. Going to row number 8 on the outside will be the number 19. That is Gordon Scully for VRD Racing. Scully out of Chicago, Illinois. And on the inside, it'll be Danny Dazelski out of Belmont, North Carolina. Dazelski running for VRD Racing as well. Go to row number 7, the Canadian from Quebec, Lucas Saint-Jean. In the number 9 for Jay Howard Driver Development. He'll be on the outside. And on the inside, another one of the Texas drivers, Chase Gardner for Exclusive Autosport in the number 95. Row number 6, 11th and 12th on the outside, Zach Ping in the number 97 out of Buford, Georgia. And on the inside, the Mexican driver Jorge Garcias in the number 10 for D-Force Racing starting 11th. Going to the top 10 right now on the outside of the 5th row, Sam Corey to Cornelius, North Carolina, one of the young guns of USF Juniors last year, a multi-time winner last season. He's in the number 14. And alongside him, the top finishing returning driver from 2022, Jacob Douglas, the New Zealander in the number 90 for Exclusive Autosport starting in 9th. Row 4 will have Ivagoras Papasavas on the outside, a podium yesterday in race number 1, a podium as well at St. Petersburg, so he's off to a good start for Jay Howard Driver Development. Papasavas in the number 6. And on the inside for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development out of Indiana, it is Elliot Cox in the number 67. Row 3 has Nikita Johnson, a St. Petersburg winner on the outside. Had an issue at the start of yesterday's race and went a lap down. He'll try to fight his way back from P6 in the number 17. And on the inside, the driver who won the USF Juniors Championship last year from Milton, Ontario, Canada, celebrating his 19th birthday today, going for a birthday gift for himself, potential race win for the number 1 D-Force driver, Matt Clark. On row number 2 on the outside, great qualifying effort for the number 68 of Ethan Ho for DC Autosport. Ran this particular tub, this carbon tub, and JR23 trim as a USF Junior on Thursday and Friday. The DC Autosport team converting that car into a USF 2000 over the night, and he will look to launch from the outside of row number 2. Ethan Ho out of Los Angeles, California, starting in 4th in the white number 68. Alongside him, starting in the third spot, that will be Lockie Hughes, your point leader. A couple of race wins on the season already. Hughes in the number 8, getting set to go. And then the drivers on the front row with 19 in the field, Max Garcia and Simon Sykes. It's an all-Pabst Racing front row. Garcia on the outside in the 24, and Simon Sykes on the inside in the number 22. Potential trouble for one of the drivers over in turn number 15. That might have been in the first. You can see him just coming through at the tail of the field. That might have been Chase Gardner. He was set to start 13th. And I think, indeed, Chase Gardner had some kind of an issue, pulled to the inside of the track, but he has come back up into the scratch position. So it'll be a 6th position drop on the grid for Chase Gardner, some kind of an issue. Otherwise, field lining up. Again, Sykes on the inside, Garcia on the outside. The same front 3 drivers we had yesterday. Lockie Hughes was able to capitalize and take the lead in turn number 1. Will we see a carbon copy start from Saturday, race number 2, out of Sunset Bend through 17, and we'll look to get things underway. Field set 2x2, 19 drivers, green, green, green. Simon Sykes going to keep it lower to the bottom of the racetrack now. Yeah, he does not want to give up the inside line to Lockie Hughes. And there's a big dive move to the inside for Matt Clark further back. This time, Sykes doing a good job. Not a great start again for Garcia as he'll drop a couple of spots. But Ethan Ho jumping into the fight, currently P3. He's trying to find a way by Lockie Hughes. They'll work their way over to turn number 3. Do they get through cleanly? Sykes with the lead. No contact with Garcia, and he goes around. Nikita Johnson involved as well. The 24 Advanced Auto Parts Pabst Race Machine of Garcia around, contact on the right rear. He's able to continue, gets it spun back around, and Garcia will continue at the tail of the field, and we'll hope for a full course caution somewhere over the next 12 laps. The chaos happening probably back around 5th, 6th, and 7th. As I said, Simon Sykes this time able to defend the inside from Lockie Hughes. So Sykes, Garcia, and Hughes is the way they came across the line. Hughes goes up into 2nd, and I want to believe Ethan Ho, I think, now up into the 3rd spot. Here they are for the first time indeed. There they are. There's Ho into the 3rd position. One of the J. Howard driver development cars, very likely Ivagoras Papasavas now up into the 4th spot. And, of course, we'll give you the full field rundown when they come by to complete lap number 1 of a scheduled 12. And, again, the driver well back is the off-pole sitter, Max Garcia. He'll have to put his head down. If we don't go yellow, he'll see what he can do to scrap up to the tail of the field. Otherwise, Sykes with about 6 or 7 car lengths, and there's the scrap there. I want to say that's, I think, Jacob Douglas battling it out potentially with Zach Ping. We'll find out exactly who that is, but here they come again onto the back straightaway. The Ullman Straight here at Sebring. First run down here, single file. We'll also see what happened with Chase Gardner. He had an issue on the warm-up lap, but we'll see if he's been able to fight up a couple of spots. There's your leader, Simon Sykes, coming through turn number 17. 3 straight pole positions. The second one at St. Petersburg coming off his best lap in race number 1. The 2 here at Sebring, flat out pace during the timed qualifying session. Big defensive move further back. That is 7th and 8th going at each other. That's Jacob Douglas and Sam Corey. I said it might have been Zach Ping with Douglas. It's actually Sam Corey. Big slide there for Elliott Cox running P5. Almost dropped the right side off. Chase Gardner already up to 13th. So after the opening lap, Gardner gets back to where he qualified. Starting 19th, coming across the line. 6th position improvement on the opening circuit for the Texan, Chase Gardner. So Brady Golan with me here right now, the USF Juniors driver for D-Force Racing. Opening couple of laps, or opening lap in the books. What do you think about the chaos from the first circuit?
I mean, it's really stressful starting the few couple laps. It's surprising to not see some contact when it doesn't happen. Obviously, it did happen here, but it was a great job from Max turning the car around and keeping going, causing no yellows.
Being told by my producer I've got a replay to watch. Let's cue that up then, Kier. Let's have a look to see what we have. We have a replay of the incident potentially happening to Max Garcia. Watch them come through. Garcia, there's the contact there, and I think it indeed was with Nikita Johnson. Nikita getting some contact there on the right rear, so left front to right rear, and of course, as the spin happened, you'll look back, Nikita Johnson's going to have to make the move. Watch them come through to the left side of the screen. Yeah, there's the contact. Looked like Nikita up on the curb a bit. Maybe Garcia coming a bit back across. Wasn't quite sure he was there. So, indeed, that was left front to right rear contact. Johnson having to take evasive maneuvers to go off track, not to get collected. He falls all the way down into Wow, 18th, all the way to the tail of the field as well. So those two drivers involved in the incident go to the tail of the field, 18th and 19th. That was 6th and 2nd, respectively, on the grid. Brady, that's one of the things, you know, as a young driver, you're learning. You got to give guys room. I know you're up front and you're aggressive and you want to get the spots, but, man, it's a shame to see two good drivers go to the tail of the field.
It really is. Turn 4 is a really tight zone. You often see contact there, and it's just unfortunate for the two drivers.
In the USF Juniors car, we saw this before. Did you, coming through turn number 3 before you come back to 4, is there a kind of a bump on the exit there when you're trying to go back to power?
There is a bump that'll really upset the car if you don't time it well. You just have to prepare for it and stay focused.
Good insight there from a driver who put in 30 laps of racing this weekend in USF Juniors. There's a good fight happening there. That's a little bit further back. I want to say that might be Lucas St. Jean and Jorge Garcias, Almora. You can see that Chase Gardner trying to reel up there as well. Look at this scrap here as well. This is for, I believe, yeah, that's, I think, second. No, that's a little further back. That's the one I'm talking about further back. That's going to be Dzelski, St. Jean, Garcias, all right there. So that is going to be for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. A little farther back, almost a second to Zach Ping. There's the drivers there from 3rd on back coming through turn number 7. There's that big group all lining up. 5 drivers from 9th back to 13th and 14th. Ping trying to get closer. So that's a fight just outside the top 10 up front. Simon Sykes, 0.8 of a second. Last time by a little bit more, a little less this time, I think. There's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's a great battle. Papasabas, Ho, and Elliot Cox battling it out for the final position on the podium as Sykes and Lockie Hughes dialing things in. We're very similar to what we saw yesterday. Those two drivers battled it out. It went side by side down the straightaway to turn 17 on the final circuit. We'll see whether that shakes back down here again. We did see some good speed out of Simon Sykes in qualifying, and oh, here comes Ethan Ho thinking about the inside on turn 15. Tough to make a pass there in 15 and then leverage it over to 16. There's back down to 13th and 14th. That is Chase Gardner and Zach Ping. I'll say one thing about that car of Chase Gardner, easy for me to pick out. Here's a defensive move to the inside for Ethan Ho. And look at this, Elliot Cox is going to go even further to the bottom. Doesn't want to give it up. Good move for Cox to go to the bottom. They'll move their way back out, and I believe the job will be done. But, oh, here's Ho going to try the outside. This is tough. Ho, I think, backing out a little bit to the inside. Book it. Great move there. Elliot Cox moving to the inside of turn 17, getting the bottom done. Great pass there. And Elliot Cox moves his way up to Ethan Ho. While we were up here here's Ho looking to the inside again. No. While we were in the booth here, I was talking to Brady about his run this weekend. You made a fantastic pass in turn 17 as well. You were battling one of the exclusive drivers. He blocked to the inside. You were able to do a really nice over-under to pinch to the bottom. There really are a bunch of different places to pass in 17, different ways of getting the job done, depending on what your competition decides to do.
It's really true. There's a lot of tough drivers out here, and sometimes you got to get past them, no matter if they're quicker or if you're quicker. Depending on the day, sometimes the positioning is different, but you got to get past drivers. They got to get past you, and there's a lot of passing opportunities at this track.
In the USF Juniors car, very similar, obviously the same aerodynamic trim as USF2000. Did you feel a lot of draft coming down that long straightaway?
Oh, yes, there's a ton of draft, and you really have to stick in it, or else the battle kind of drives away from you.
That's it. Got to be aggressive to stay with it. There's the lead right now, a little bit longer than it was last time by, but the back gap again from 2nd back to 3rd, the 2 Jay Howard driver development cars. There's a good scrap here as well. That is, I believe, Matt Clark and Sam Corey. Corey, I think, getting by in the number 14, so move Sam Corey up into 7th and Clark, or 6th, and Clark back to 7th. That's a pretty good scrap right now between those two young drivers. They battled it out in USF Juniors last year, which is great. And if we just think about this Juniors program as well, Cox, Ho, Clark, Corey, all those drivers running in USF Juniors alongside a number of the drivers further back in the pack as well, like Nikita Johnson. So awesome to see these young drivers moving their way up to USF2000, learning what they did last year in Juniors, putting that to work to be top 10 runners out of the gate here in USF2000. Here's the gap down the straightaway again. Good look at the big cushion between 2nd and 3rd. It's turning into a 2-driver battle up front. Papasabas trying to get back on the podium again. Papasabas currently sitting in the 3rd spot in the points, doing a pretty solid job here right now, though he is significantly behind his teammate by about 19 points, but good job for him out of the gate. Couple of podiums. And looking for more, obviously, here to cap off the weekend in Sebring. Still 89 degrees trackside. You can see the breeze up on top of the tower there, the bridge across the front straightaway. The breeze still coming across. Here's a pass further back as well. Indeed, that's one of the G-Force drivers making a move to the inside. I want to say that's right in front of Gardner. I think Garcias potentially getting by. Well, that's Nikita Johnson behind him. Nikita, who was all the way back to 18th, has scrapped his way back up. That's Nikita right there. And another driver's gone off the outside. That might have been Dzelski. Dzelski potentially slow coming through 3 and 4. So Nikita Johnson goes by Garcia. That thing is a hot rod. And there's a driver off. That's Dzelski, I think, has gone off. That is over in 3, 4, and 5. Like, there could be a potential issue there for Danny Dzelski. That's the number 18. He's off track, driver's right, coming through turn number 4 and 5. And that potentially could bring out a full course caution. He's stopped off the racetrack. And again, just off the track by a couple of car width. No, it refires. So they've got him going again. So the yellow flag holding. Danny Dzelski able to refire and comes back on the track through turn number 6. So indeed, we avoid the full course. And here, this battle here, this is Chase Gardner going around Lucas St. Jean. That is through turn number 11. Let's see whether or not that gets done when they come back over here to 14-15. Elliot Cox continues to put the pressure here on Ivagoras Papasavas. So third place, most definitely not done. Papasavas, Cox, and Ho looking to battle it out. And there's the scrap here. Indeed, now coming further from the back, that's the number 97. That's Zach Ping. He's been able to get by Al Mori, and Ping now going to work on Gardner. Gardner going to work on, I believe, Lucas St. Jean. We got ourselves a great scrap in different parts of this racetrack. The leader's now a full second advantage for Simon Sykes. Remember, a 12-lap race for the drivers here. Long laps. As that scrap further back, indeed, the 97 of Zach Ping's been able to get by Chase Gardner. We'll reset the field on lap number 5 when they come back through here for you. Simon Sykes with the lead, 1.2 seconds. Lockie Hughes in second. Ivagoras Papasavas in third. Elliot Cox fourth. Ethan Ho now runs 5th. Sam Corey about 7/10 back in 7th. Another second back to Matt Clark in the 7th. Corey runs 6th. Jacob Douglas in 8th. Lucas St. Jean 9th. Nikita Johnson 10th. Garcias runs 11th, Maury in 12th, Ping in 13th, Gardner 14th, Townsend 15th, Garcia 16th, Jamison 17th, Scully in 18th, and Danny Dzelski still waiting to come back around to put lap number 5 in the books. Now make it lap number 6, so we're at the halfway point now. Crossed halfway flags. 6 down for Simon Sykes, 6 to go. 1.2 seconds to lead. Brady, you're in the middle of a fight here now, middle of the race. Does it take that long for you to get comfortable, or is it really the first couple of laps where you've already kind of shaken off the start of the race jitters? You're just in the moment now.
There's a lot of battling that happens on during the race and midway throughout the race. You really don't want to battle. You want to get it done quickly so you can stay with the pack in front of you.
Yeah, one of the things obviously to watch out for is when you're in the middle of a battle like that, you're in a scrap, you're seeing the guys pull away. When does the switch go off? Well, maybe we got to catch up again. I know that's something you'd work on in karting a little bit. You don't want to be battling with the guy, let the guys in front of you pull away. But, man, if you think you're faster than the guy in front of you, you really want to go by. But there is some strategy you have to play as well.
You really do have to plan your passes and make sure they're not on right before straights where you can compromise an exit and get passed right back up.
Yeah, that's good insight there. Thinking about that, when you try to make a move to the inside of one of the longer straightaways, that's where you have some trouble. Look at this battle right now. This is potentially for third. Elliot Cox is going to go to the inside of Ivagoras Papasavas. Another move to the bottom, very similar to the pass he made on Ethan Ho. Book it. He's through again. Elliot Cox in the drive, planning number 67, trying to get on the podium for the first time. Papasavas gets a good run, though. He'll be on the outside. Cox on the inside. Oh, they almost touch wheels. Coming into the corner. Cox to the inside. Papasavas trying to hold the outside. They're side by side coming out of the corner. Big run. And Papasavas is going to pinch him. They're both going to go off. Papasavas trying to pinch him to the left side and right across the racetrack. A couple of drivers having to make evasive maneuvers. Yellow flag flying over in turn number 3 as those two drivers battle it out. So yellow flag flying. We've got to pick up the corner in turn 3. I think both drivers may be off the racetrack as Papasavas was trying to come across the track and they made contact in turn number 2, that little jig to the right before they get to turn number 3. And the contact happening over in that corner, tough one. our camera moving over to pick up the 4-5, so we don't have a really good shot of this. This is the best shot we have of turn number 3. One of the drivers right behind them, I want to say it might have been Sam Corey, had to take evasive maneuvers. We do have a replay. So let's have a look at what we saw here right now. It was a battle between Elliot Cox and Evagoras Papasavas. They were side by side coming down. Cox on the inside, Papasavas on the outside. Papasavas with a really good run in the Jay Howard car. Watch him get on the outside. He's on the rumbles. He's got better run there. He didn't have to pinch the wheel. But he's coming across the track. Keeps coming, keeps coming, keeps coming. And that is right front to left wheel contact. I'll leave that one up. And you see the drivers all locking up the brakes. Indeed, Sam Corey had to, I believe, lock up to go around the outside. Not sure if he even got through cleanly. Matt Clark was going to be the benefactor there as well. Here's another look at it. Coming through turn number 1. They're side by side. You got to give racing room. And as they come back across, you can see Papasavas did not want to give it up. Kept kind of pinching to the side a little bit. I guarantee that will be under review from race control. They're going to have a look. You see the yellow coming out right now as the drivers came through. Yellow flag flying at that point there. So full course yellow on the racetrack. We'll let them come back around and we'll set it for you. The AMR USF Pro Championship safety team getting themselves over to the accident scene. Drivers working their way around. That lead by Simon Sykes has gone away. Long time still to go in terms of the clock. But this could take a bit. 7 laps in the books, 5 to go. And we'll set them when they come back around for you. Because live timing is not updated yet. In fact, it may be 8 laps in. We're just waiting for things to get back around. Simon Sykes and Lockie Hughes, P1, P2, and indeed, that incident, of course, under review by race control. And this tail camera had a really good look at it. You know they'll be able to grab all the HD cards or SD cards out of the cameras on all of these cars as well. Our race directors will do that. They'll collect all the cards afterwards to get the in-car camera views of these. And that was a tough one. Those drivers were battling it out for P3. It was a big move down the inside for Elliot Cox, getting that spot into turn number 17. They went side by side down into 1, and Papasavas did not want to give it up. And I'll tell you this. With Evagoras Papasavas, even a top 5 finish, he had 2 podium finishes. This will be a learning experience for him. That's probably one of those positions where you maybe want to give it up. He had got a good run out of 1, but you got to give room on the outside. And he had given that up and went back to 4th. Could have lived to fight another corner. Instead, sitting P3 in the points. That's going to help Nikita Johnson. Everybody behind him is going to get the benefit of him falling to the tail of the field. All right, we'll wait until they come around, I think, one more time. Still waiting for live timing to update here because it hasn't done so. It still has Papasavas in P6. Chase Gardner coming back around. He's falling back to the tail of the field. Not sure what happened to Chase Gardner there unless he was potentially involved in a separate incident. To me, like we have the wrecker heading over as well. So anytime you see the tow truck heading over, as it is right now, got to watch it. This is going to be big, really big for the driver of the auto parts, or rather the advanced auto parts machine. That's Max Garcia. Remember the incident spinning him around in the opening lap. This is going to give him a chance to potentially work his way forward some more. He was able to get up to 13th with some of the other issues. Now I wonder whether or not Papasavas actually able to get through after that. The driver, is that maybe that's Sam Corey down over there. We'll get a better look when they come back around again, waiting for the next lap to come in. I'll do a visual on it as well. There's Sykes and then Lockie Hughes. I believe that's Matt Clark now up into the 3rd spot. 4th would be Ethan Ho. So Sykes, Hughes, Clark, and Ho. I think Jacob Douglas potentially to P5. Work still being done over in turn number 3 after the incident. I said lots of time still on the clock in the time window. Because although it is a 12-lap race, we do have time. 40 minutes is the window of time. Drivers circulating around here now. Some really exciting racing. And you can see the side-by-side action. Elliot Cox made a great move to get to the inside of Ethan Ho in turn number 17 and did the same thing to Papasavas. at the big end of the lap previous, right before the incident 1 and 2 and 3. So indeed, there's your leader, Sykes. There's top 3. There's Ho, Douglas. And indeed, that's the number 6. Papasavas somehow did not get involved in that incident. All that spinning, I think it might have been Sam Corey who ended up being the driver in the wall. And Corey was just trying to get through. He wasn't even in it. He gets collected. I thought for sure when you're into the, very similar to the end of the 12 hours of Sebring with the two drivers making contact in exactly the same place, they end up in the grass and going straight off, obviously at a much higher rate of speed. But I expected to see both Cox and Papasavas straight through and into the wall. Somehow the only driver to get collected was Sam Corey. Wrong place at the wrong time, because both Papasavas and Cox still on the track. You can see Papasavas in 6th, and 11th is Cox. So here is your rundown now. Sykes, your leader. Lockie Hughes, 2nd. Matt Clark in 3rd. Jacob Douglas, 5th behind Ethan Ho. Ho 4th, Douglas 5th. Papasavas in 6th. Johnson 7th. Lucas St. Jean 8th. Jorge Garcias in 9th and Zach Pink 10th. Elliot Cox somehow gets back up into 11th. I figured he would have been in the wall considering that contact. Al Mori in 12th. Max Garcia 13th. Avery Townsend 14th. Gordon Scully 15th. Maxwell Jameson in the 16th spot. Chase Gardner 17th. Some issue with Chase, put him back. Gazelski down 1 lap in 6th. And Sam Corey, we believe, the driver in the wall. So let's have a look at that replay one more time now that we have some time here. We're hopefully expecting a potential green flag. 8 laps down, 4 to go. Here's the replay again. Side by side, see Ethan Ho back there. He somehow gets through. Corey's the guy in the back of the shot. Corey right there in the VRD car. He's the guy that gets collected. Papasavas coming around, doesn't want to give it up. Both those drivers off. Papasavas, he does a full spin, comes back around onto the racetrack, and the only driver, look at this, trying to get all the way around the outside. There's the contact there. So as Papasavas is spinning, a clockwise spin, as he comes back around, you'll watch this again, he does the clockwise spin. Once he gets it straight, unleashes the brakes, it rolls forward. Corey trying to get around, and boom, the right front of Papasavas into the left rear of Sam Corey. And one of the things they'll teach you a lot of times is when you spin 2 feet in. So clutch and brake so that the car's not going to roll back into anybody, and there's the damage. It's not a lot to the number 14, but that right front to left rear contact on the VRD 14 of Sam Corey, damaging the suspension, taking him out of the race. So the only casualty of that wild contact in turn number 2 between Papasavas and Cox was the driver, the innocent bystander rolling through from P6, Sam Corey, was having a really good run up to 6th, finds himself now 19th. He came in P5 in points as well for Corey. So, man, that is a tough way to end the day here in Sebring. Brady, what do you think on that deal? I don't want to put you on the spot, but that was a pretty wild deal there. My thought, you got to give room, a little bit more racing room. What did you think about that from a driver's perspective?
You know, it's really unfortunate. No matter whose fault it is, 2 cars having contact can cause damage to both cars. Slows them both down, but it also brings the pack back together, so it makes for better racing.
So you went from driver to spectator there. I do like that. That's good. It is going to be wild racing here at the end. And the interesting thing is I think we may be going green this time by. We'll have a look. Drivers working their way down the back. We'll see whether or not the pace car checks out on us here. Indeed it does. The pace car is dialed into the throttle. They're going to get away. We'll go lap number 9 when they come across the line. Simon Sykes had a pretty decent little advantage. Now he's going to have to defend on a restart. Sykes, Hughes, Clark, Ho, and Douglas, your top 5. He will set the pace coming through. Lap 9 in the books next time by. 3-lap dash to the end. Simon Sykes, the Pabst Racing 22. Lockie Hughes, the point leader in the Jay Howard driver development, number 8. And there we are on the loud pedal, back to racing. And Sykes is going to hold the bottom of the racetrack. He'll wait to see if Lockie Hughes pumps out. There he goes. Hughes is coming to the other side of him. He'll come to get a little extra room. Hughes is going to try to run the outside. Sykes is going to go down to the bottom. This time they'll go side by side. And Hughes is going to go 4 wheels off and able to come back on. Luckily to be able to come back on the track, stack him up behind him. Sykes is going to try to get through cleanly, and he does. Everybody going to work now. Look at the gap. Matt Clark goes to 2nd. Matt Clark to P2 in the D-Force Racing. USF Pro Championships, scholarship number 1, Clark into the second spot, and this is given a big lead for Simon Sykes. Sykes, elbows up, coming through turn number 1, did not want to give it up, and I'll tell you, Lockie Hughes didn't lift either. They'll go side by side again. This time, it's Clark extending the run into turn number 7 to keep Lockie Hughes at bay, and there's a bunch of dust coming up there. I think we're clean through. Let's have a look when they pop back into view here in turn number 10. What kind of collateral damage do we have? We're going to see Simon Sykes, the black 22, come through first. Look at the gap he has now over Clark. And then it's Jacob Douglas up into second. Douglas has gone to second. The exclusive Autosport driver attacking as well on the opportunity. So Clark into second, Douglas into third. Further back, damage. Oh, that is the number 93 of Avery Towns. He's getting through. Sounds to me like there might have been some contact with some drivers coming into turn number 10, but Towns able to continue. And indeed, full course yellow once again. Another full course. And I would bet this one could almost be done. Well, maybe not. Maybe we can get one more lap in. They're going to come around and put lap number 10 in the books. Full course yellow, so I'm going to have to believe something happened between 7 and 10. We talked about the fact that Avery Towns had slowed. He was right there with Garcia, Maury, Scully, Jamieson. Not quite sure who was able to get through. We don't have a camera in that corner. We have it just as they come through 10. We don't have anything, of course, from 7 up to 10. That 8-9 complex coming through. It's pretty straight with just some bends. Wow, unbelievable. Possibility. We'll see what all shakes down. Trying to figure out the cars that are coming through. Yeah, I'm not sure if we see the white DC Autosport machine of Ethan Ho. I wonder whether or not he got into an incident. They'll come across the line under the full course yellow. We'll give you an update when the live timing comes through. So potentially an issue for Ethan Ho. Indeed, I'm not seeing him on the grid. No, he just rolled through. Ethan Ho just came through. So Sykes, your leader. Clark second. Jacob Douglas in third. Lockie Hughes fourth. Elliot Cox fifth. Jorge Garcia sixth. Max Garcia back up to seventh. Papa Sabas eighth. Nikita Johnson ninth. Chase Gardner back up to 10th. Al Morey 11th. Gordon Scully in 12th. Zach Ping 13th. Maxwell Jamieson 14th. Ethan Ho 15th. Avery Towns 16th. We did not see Lucas St. Jean in the number 9. Luca very likely involved in an incident, as we are now. Again, full course yellow. Indeed, it is Lucas St. Jean, being confirmed that that is the driver who had the incident on the racetrack. Somewhere outside of the view of the cameras, I'm going to say anywhere between turns 8 and 10, maybe over a 9, maybe on the entry to 10, drivers getting together. And indeed, that's lap number 10. So literally, this will be over, I think. There's no way that they're going to be able to get this done, as when they come back around, we would have to go green next time by, because lap 11 will go in the book. No, that's lap 11. Live timing showing me lap 11. Being told the driver out of the car and walking around. So if you are a Lucas St. Jean fan or following his action here this weekend, being told out of the car, he's okay, walking around. Live timing going back and forth on me. It said 11, but it's actually lap 10. I know many of you watched the live broadcast with potentially live timing up on another screen, or on the, of course, on the USF Pro Championships app. If you have not downloaded that, perfect time to do so. Apple Store for iPhones, Google Play for the Android. So again, this right here is essentially your finishing order unofficially, because they'll put lap number 11 next time in, and even if they were to come back, we would have to go green this time by for this race not to be over. I don't think it's going to happen, considering the fact that they're already through turn number 11. Take the opportunity right now while we're live here to thank all of our partners here this year for 2023. Just getting the program underway, but great to have them on board. Cooper Tires, Discount Tire, VP Racing Fuel, Skip Barber Racing School. That's iconic names in the automotive sector and the motorsports world. Thrilled to have them as part of our family of partners. Brady Golan from D-Force Racing, USF Juniors driver, joined me out of Austin, Texas. Well, that happens, man. You guys were able to get the job done. You guys went green to checker all 3 races. But, man, this is aggressive racing. People, of course, you know that last lap we talked about the opportunity to potentially get something on a restart, and guys just start getting a little over anxious.
No matter what, when there's contact and somebody's out, no matter the driver, you just want to see him get out of the car and be all right. And to see the driver out of the car and walking around is really reassuring to everyone.
Indeed, always what you're looking for is the driver to be okay. But again, here they are. They're kind of scrubbing the tires around right now. We're going to put lap number 11 in the books when they come around. So effectively, this thing is done. I won't call it yet. But Simon Sykes leads the way, and this is a young driver who has been battling to get a top-tier ride, trying to come up with the budget that he would need to go racing, to get to the end. And I'm told, folks, that we may actually be throwing the checkered flag this time by. And indeed, a long wait for his first USF2000 victory is coming to an end. He's got that checkered flag multiple times in the SCCA National Championship runoffs. FRP champion, Team USA scholarship winner at one point, but this, for the first time, will be a checkered flag for the driver from Augusta, Georgia, winning in USF2000. Simon Sykes with that victory. Second place, the birthday boy, Matt Clark, and Jacob Douglas finishing in third. Lockie Hughes fourth, Elliott Cox fifth. 5 different teams in the top 5. Pabst Racing, D-Force Racing exclusive, Jay Howard, and Sarah Fisher Hartman Driver Development with their first top 5 as well. But a huge one here for Simon Sykes as he is going to get the race win he's been looking for. Does this tighten up the championship? I think it does. Simon Sykes, most laps led, I believe, as well. Obviously, yeah, led the whole way. Fastest lap of the race, pole, 33 points. This thing is going to be super close. And with Lockie finishing back and forth, Simon Sykes may even take over the point lead. Brady Golan, thanks for joining me, man. Your first opportunity in the booth. We're going to see you back on the racetrack at Barber Motorsports Park at the end of April with IndyCar. How excited are you to get to that racetrack?
Oh, I'm really excited. I've only driven that track on the sim, but I'm really excited. It looks a lot of fun, and especially to share the weekend with IndyCar should be a special time.
Brady, thanks for joining me up here. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Brady Golan, folks, from D-Force Racing, USF Juniors driver. We'll see him, as I said, at Barber Motorsports Park. That's the next event for the USF Pro Championships as this is done. 7 races in, 7 races down. The Cooper Tires Grand Prix of Sebring is done in terms of on-track action. Folks, join us after this. It'll be a couple of minutes of commercials. I'm going to hightail my way over to Victory Lane. We'll have a chance to chat with Simon Sykes and honor the runs of Matt Clark and Jacob Douglas. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We do appreciate it. We'll see you at Victory Lane. Don't go anywhere. Gentlemen, set to go to wrap up this Cooper Tires Grand Prix of Sebring. What a race we had there. Some battling at the front, third on back, deeper in the field as well, and of course a yellow at the end, being told our driver is okay after a pretty nasty incident in the back part of the racetrack. But good to see, of course, the strength of these Tatis cars. He was able to get out and is fine. Again, let's get things underway because we're going to wrap things up with USF2000 and a driver well-deserved for an opportunity to stand in the middle of this group of pilots here on the podium. Finishing in third, capitalizing on everything that happened around him. P3 from Exclusive Autosport. Put your hands together for Jacob Douglas! Great run, Jacob. Finishing in second, starting a little deeper in the field, but fought his way forward, was able to get some good moves at the very end there. It's his birthday today, too, as well, 19 years of age. What a birthday present for himself from D-Force Racing P2, Matt Clark! But of course, we always look for the driver able to get that first victory, and it's a little bit more special, of course, when you get that first one. You get the monkey off your back, and he's been trying for a bunch of years, got a chance to run with a top-tier team like Pabst Racing. He's able to capitalize, folks, the winner today for the first time in USF2000, Simon Sykes! It's a straight emotion question to start things off. Simon, you've tried so hard. You've been working over the last couple of years, never even had a full season. Finally get a chance to run with a team like Pabst and to get that first win. Just fill me in on the emotion.
I couldn't believe it. As soon as they called caution and checker, I heard over the radio, I started cheering. They told me to wait till the finish line, but I was too elated. I mean, it's taken a lot of work, a lot of years, and a great team behind me. Pabst Racing has had the best car every time I've gotten in it, and it's just been a waiting game to get to this top step, and I'm so glad I can finally say that we did it.
You obviously learned from yesterday as well. You took a different line approach to the opening corner on the green flag. Same thing with the restart. You were able to defend both times. Obviously, you took a page from yesterday. You must have felt good once you got through turn 1 and realized you were still P1.
Absolutely. It was tough. I mean, Lockie was there pressuring me. I was able to get away on the start. It was a lot of pressure, but we were slowly building that gap, and then we hit that caution and got to the restart, and I locked it down on the low line. He went high, and we went side by side into one, and it was all or nothing. He caught a little bit of a slide mid-corner, got wide on exit, allowed these two fabulous drivers to come through as well. But with that gap behind me and that late safety car to close it off, it was all up in the emotions from there.
A massive win. We know obviously you behind the wheel get a lot of credit for it, but the big team as well. Who do you want to thank today?
Absolutely. Paps Racing, first and foremost. They've been great to me. They build the absolute best cars. It's a dream just to get in the car with them every weekend, and I'm just so glad that I'm here. My parents, I can't thank them enough for coming out and supporting. And really, it's just a big team effort. Everyone at Paps, my driver coach, Hunter McElray, my teammate, Max Garcia, everybody on the team. It was a huge effort to get here, and I'm so glad that we can say we did it.
You are now a winner in the USF Pro Championships.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Simon Sykes, folks, the winner today. Guys, grab those trophies. Big victory for Simon Sykes, and it is going to be tough on top of the point standings as well. He had a perfect day, 33 points on it, so excellent job for him today. We'll see how it all plays out when we look at the official results once they do eventually come official, but nonetheless, he'll enjoy the day here, enjoy the evening after finally winning here in USF2000 competition. Let's get those Discount Tire hats. Of course, we're thrilled to have Discount Tire join us as the naming partner for our driver development advancement program, the scholarship program that will send one of these deserving drivers into the USF Pro 2000 Championship next year. And man, what a field we have in the USF 2000. So many great rookies in this program, but it was the veteran driver, Simon Sykes, coming away with a well-deserved victory here. Of course, champagne waiting in the wings as we cap off this Cooper Tires Grand Prix of Sebring. Perfect weather all weekend long. Temp finally, not quite 90, still 89 degrees. It's a nice breeze, but man, it's been a day. It's been a weekend. 4 straight days. USF Juniors, tremendous work in their events. Green to checker, all 3 runs. The Pro 2000 drivers putting on a battle. Paps Racing's been in here quite a bit in victory lane here this weekend. 3 wins for Paps Racing on the weekend. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, let's cap things off. 3 deserving drivers and the one pilot who finally gets that victory. He's been chased for the last couple of years. Guys, drop down those trophies. Simon Sykes with the victory. The champagne is yours. Grip it and rip it. Celebration time at Sebring. And that's it, the celebration for Simon Sykes, getting that win. He won a big race as well for Matt Clark, a major attack on the restart to get through. Jacob Douglas as well needed this breakthrough run. He gets back to the podium as well. Jake, I believe his first podium actually in USF 2000 competition as well after a good rookie season. 3 drivers most definitely in the championship fight. What a race it was here today. But that caps things off for the broadcast here on all the platforms for the USF Pro Championships. We want to thank all of you who have tuned in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now here on Sunday. USF Juniors looking forward now to the next event at Barber Motorsports Park. F2000, USF 2000, and USF Pro 2000 now looking to the month of May at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We thank everyone so much for tuning in and following all the action of the USF Pro Championships. We do appreciate it. Big thank you to all of our partners as well. And on behalf of Anderson Promotions and everybody from Cooper Tires, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.